Jason Rzucidlo reporting from inside the Detroit Marriott here at the Renaissance Center for the 2015 Automotive News World Congress. Stay tuned for remarks from General Motors CEO Mary Barra.
Well, thank you for being here. We're delighted that you're spending a little time with us talking about it. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was the cultural change that you keep talking about. My sense is you're in a rowboat trying to move the Queen Mary. You've got this huge company, and that maybe you can move a layer or two layers. But how do you get down to the tens of thousands of GM people to realize they have to do it differently? They have to do it differently because of the recession, because of the bankruptcy, because you're their new boss.
Well, I think it's not something that happens overnight, but one of the things and I think it's been overplayed a bit, but because I've said I don't like to talk about culture because culture is something that you look at after a lot of activity and you see, what is it now? And one of the things I always say is culture is really a collection of stories that people who work at the company tell. Because if you go home from work today and say, I had a great day, I'm working on this really cool project, and I feel like I'm making a lot of progress, we all form an opinion. If you go home and say, oh my God, today I had to climb Mount Stupid to try and get something done, you kind of, create a picture of what the company's like. So, one of the things about the companies, you can't fake it. It has to be real, and that's why I've focused so much on let's change behaviors and really engaging the top 300 leaders around the globe. We, unlike a lot of businesses the size of General Motors, we do one thing. We do cars, trucks, and crossovers. And if we can leverage our scale, we can do it even better. So it's imperative that we work together. But if you look at General Motors' history, we came together as a collection of small car companies. We didn't really, in earnest, start doing global platforms until the mid-2000s. So we're new in that to a certain extent. But I would also say with the difficulties we went through last year, it was a tragic circumstance that we dealt with. That has really fueled the change that we're making.
Was it worse than the bankruptcy?
Oh, they were both pretty bad.
You weren't chairman at the time.
Yeah, true.
Bankruptcy.
But I think one of the things, and for those of you who work with General Motors, the men and women of General Motors work hard, they're great people. I mean, consistently, outside folks will come in and say the talent and the depth of dedication at General Motors is really, unheard of or strong, and they're sometimes surprised. And so I think both were really difficult. But I think, with going through the bankruptcy, there's a resiliency, and I think with what we went through last year, there's resolve to never let it happen again. So I can't tell you the hundreds of emails I got from employees around the globe supporting the direction we're taking. So I actually see if we get the leadership, when we get the employees, we're going to make the change faster than people
But
think.
all right, you've got 300 disciples.
Okay.
How do you get the word out to the tens of thousands from Australia to Brazil to the North and South Pole? How do you get those people to understand we're not kidding?
Right.
I've heard it from too many other GM executives over the year. Well, we're going to do a cultural change. Boy, we're going to change things. And nothing ever happens.
Well, I would say from middle of last year, we've already made several tangible changes.
Like what?
So we've changed the way we do the whole plan, diving much deeper into the organization to look at how we develop our business plans and our long-term plans. We've changed the way we do compensation. We've changed the way we do performance reviews. So those are, tangible changes. I also think that one of the significant things we did last year was we changed, the vision of the company used to be design, build, and sell the world's best vehicles. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it was really a license to do whatever you wanted. And so we went back in, and the senior leadership, we spent time, we spent time as a leadership team talking about where we want to take the company. We looked externally, we looked at other industries, and we really challenged ourselves to look over the horizon and say, for this company to be a great company for the next 100 years, where do we need to take it? And we developed...
Are you going to be there that long?
I hope so. And we developed, we don't even call it a mission or vision, we say it's who we are and why we're here. And it's about the customer, it's about building strong brands, it's about breakthrough technologies, it's about serving the communities in which we live and work, all to build the most valued automotive company. And as we've talked and we've shared, I mean, I've shared with employees, Mark Royce, Dan Ammon, Chuck, we have talked to our employees, so it's about communicating, but then it's the behaviors to back it up. It's about making decisions based on the customer. But I would also say, as we dealt with last year's crisis, we did it focused on the customer. We did the right thing for the customer. We drove transparency, and that was something our employees could grab onto, and they saw a change. They saw that we were serious about what we said we want the company to be.
Don't you think that would have happened before?
I think it's hard to say when you look at what the situation is. So I don't like to put words in other people's mouth of what they would or wouldn't have done. But I think, with the situation we are, with the leadership team, it was very clear. I've been asked before, well, when did you decide to do it? Well, we never made it, we just immediately started saying, what do we need to do the right thing for the customer?
What are the kinds of things that we all can watch for to say, boy, GM is changing. Boy, GM has really become a different company.
Well, I think some of them are even before, we look at last year with the road we've been on with product. 5-10 years ago, when you looked across the showroom, and you look at it now, whether you're looking at Chevrolet, Cadillac, GMC, Buick in the United States, and Opel and other brands outside, winning vehicles, and not our definition of winning, but customer and external groups where we're getting awards. Look at the Colorado with Motor Trend Truck of the Year, last year with the Silverado, the Corvette, the CTS. So I think one of the things that says General Motors is different, if our plan is simple. If we are going to put a new vehicle into the marketplace, we're going to win. Now, we recognize and respect the competition because I would say the automobile business is one of the most competitive, and everyone's doing great cars and trucks, but we're there to win the segment. And that's the way our engineers work, the team. And when I look at what we've done in the last couple years, it's many of the people are people who have been there for a while, but we've empowered them to do that. So that's point one. I think second is you need to look at us and hold us accountable for doing what we say we're going to do with results. And that's, we've got to earn that, and we're intent on doing that.
Sales, you mean?
Sales and profitability.
Is that the way winners and losers are determined in the car business?
I think it's profitable growth. When
sales at a profit.
Right. But
best of both worlds.
Right, exactly. But it's got to be growth the right way, from a profitable market share and making those trade-offs. And I think we've been very responsible there.
You have to be tough.
Yeah, you do have to be tough. It's a tough business.
You fire people?
Many.
You do. Don't smile.
Hey. No, I mean, but I think you have to separate and say, hey, the individual may not be there. It's not that they're a bad person. They're not the right person for the job that you have to do. And you have to look at that. I served in HR for a short period of time as we came out of bankruptcy, and had to have many difficult conversations. But I can tell you, when you need to take those steps, it's doing and allowing the person to maintain their dignity. And I will also tell you that many of the folks that I personally exit, I know where they are now, and if I see them in an airport, we're going to have a conversation. So there's
You mean ex-employees?
Yeah. It's happened.
Do you still fire people now? Or do you have people do your people do that?
Well, I think, as a leader, you have to take accountability. So if it's an individual that is part of your direct team.
That means you're saying, I'm the one.
Yeah, if it's a decision I made, I'm not going to have someone else do it. I'm going to do it. Just like I'm also going to have a great conversation when someone does excellent and tell them, great job, really appreciate it. I mean, it goes hand in hand. It's not just about firing.
Part of the change was getting rid of a lot of brands. You miss Pontiac and Oldsmobile and Saturn.
Well, I think there were elements. I mean, I started at Pontiac Motor Division.
I know, that's
when it
why.
was a motor division. I mean, we were our own car company, and what a great place to start in this business.